All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Summit 6, even though it says Summit 5, because we are not ticketed just yet. I'm Luminous, and I'm bringing you guys the Summit 6 from Beyond the Summit. I'm joined by Eosin Dota, as we're bringing you guys a best of 3 for MVP.Phoenix and Power Gaming. Before we go into the picks, we'll quickly go over this high production value as I show you my monitor, which need to tap over to, holy shit, there's so many things I need. All right, okay, we're good. We're tapping over to see where we are in the brackets. This is gonna be the first upper bracket match of today. We got MVP.Phoenix versus Power Gaming. After that, we have, I believe, sig.trust versus Execration. And after that, we got the loser versus wg.unity. So yeah, without further ado, we got the draft. Steven, you've been patiently waiting for me. What's up, man? Steven?
10 seconds to go.
Steven Chan, I don't hear you.
5 seconds.
Steven? All right.
Reserve time.
Steven, you should speak. La, no one hears you. All right, well, we're off to a great start. I'm gonna just keep casting till we get Steven back or not. All right, MVP.Phoenix on the Tower side, Power Gaming on the Radiant. Power Gaming gonna start things off with Bat Rider and Kunkka, which are two of the. All right, Steven can't hear me. All right, this is great. Why don't I close Discord and open it again? Give me another invite.
Faceless void.
You're currently seeing the high production value.
All right, we're good. I can hear you now.
Great. I blame you,
Alright.
by the way.
No, this can't be on me.
Okay. I mean, we're using that next level browser Discord, so maybe that too.
All right, maybe.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. All right.
Seconds to go.
We didn't miss much. You just missed me kind of messing around with all the technical aspects of it. But we're into the draft right on time. You said Dubu was playing some Overwatch. Do you know if he's good at the
No,
game?
no, not Overwatch. Overthrow.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Overwatch. Like just the custom game. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the best ways to warm up.
It actually is. It really is. All right, let's get into the draft. I'm all like thrown off. All right, Power Gaming versus MVP. MVP got Ogre and Faces Void, and Bat and Kunkka on the other side. Anything you want to read into this draft so far, or just kind of standard stuff?
I think for the most part, I would say it's kind of standard. The only thing that isn't too standard is that both sides have ignored Drow and OD.
Okay. Have you been able to watch a lot of the MVP.Phoenix games of late?
I think I watched some of them, and I mean, the Warlock band is a clear indicator that Power Gaming has done their research as well, because I think MVP.Phoenix is one of the teams that runs it more than others do.
Yep. Although they've actually been kind of scaling it back a little bit. Whereas, 1 or 2 years ago, it used to be like Warlock every other game. They, like I said, they've not been using it as much, which makes me think that Power Gaming have not done the more up-to-date research. Dubu's hero has been Bounty Hunter, although he's been also not playing it as much. But yeah, these two are kind of famous MVP heroes, at least of the past. Lately, though, I think if there's one weakness I have to say about the MVP lineup, is the fact that they're putting a lot of their games on the back of Kyo, and whenever Kyo doesn't do well, they don't win games. I don't know if that's a weakness or that's just actually just how the team works, but that's generally how the games go.
I feel like that's just kind of how the team functions.
Okay.
Ever since they lost Forev and MP, I think it's kind of reverted back to the old MVP.Phoenix where
I hope Kyo will carry us.
yeah,
Okay.
ride or die on QO.
Yeah. And actually, kind of a little bit more on that point is Febi's their new carry player. Well, not new, but he's been playing carry since this roster. And to remind you, he used to play support. And not to say that his carry isn't like up to snuff, but he generally doesn't play that very hard carry. In fact, when he plays carry, he plays like offensive trialing carry that's meant to like buy time and space for mostly Q and sometimes Velo. And some of the example of the carries he's been playing is like silencer carry, where I mean technically yes you could go 6-slotted and super hyper carry, but generally he gets like drums, he gets force staffs. These are like the carry items that you get, or early mech for example, and it's supposed to like support Q and Velo. So we'll see if that's gonna be the case today. And speaking of going offensive trial lane, Ogre Magi is one of the best hero for that. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even though the roster has changed, MVP is still very MVP-like, where they just play super aggressively, and I think that we're probably going to see that today as well.
yeah. Meanwhile, Power Gaming, we haven't talked about them just yet, but we got some namesake player, Lance, DZZ, Jacko. These are players that's been playing for quite a while. The team's been around. Unfortunately, they're really unable to kind of break into the tier 1 of C. Although I was having this discussion with Gods the other day when we are both in Kiev, C is kind of on the rise. I mean, we actually got good C teams now, not like Zephyr of the past, but like, last TI we had, there was 4 teams out of the top 8 that was C. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're definitely not Zephyr quality, that's for sure.
All right, we got an Omni pick here from MVP. Obviously, Orgo has been banned out to lay the groundwork for this hero. How do you feel about Omni overall?
I think he's pretty damn good right now.
You think so? Why?
You just need the Omni player. I mean, his skill set is it's so annoying to deal with. And I was casting the EU games earlier, and we saw an Omni Knight pick as well. And Lyrical asked me, like, why do you think Omni Knight is just good? Well, it forces you to, one, you have to pick a hero that can purge. Like, you need someone who can buy Diffusal Blade, because if you don't, it's just kind of ridiculous that you're letting someone walk around with a 10-second repel for the entirety of the game on a 14-second cooldown.
Okay, so I know these two heroes are vastly different, but here's my theory on this hero, right? Omni is a poor man's Wisp, okay? Hear me out. When you pick Wisp, or in this case Omni Knight, you need to really pair it with a hyper carry or a hyper damage dealer, because Omni by itself doesn't really have the stun or the necessary damage. I mean, he's got nothing but support spells, and you want to be supporting, let's say, a Terrorblade, which is generally the pair that you see quite a bit. So far, we don't have any of those hyper carries on the side of MVP.Phoenix. Are we? What is the pairing that you expect to see? Or I guess, do you agree with my theory at all, or no?
I think they're both very different heroes. I think Omni is way more aggressive in the early game, because I mean, Wisp, you can't really do much in like level 1 and 2, right? You can just tether people, feed them bottle charges, overcharge them. You can't really do too much.
Unless it's a mid Wisp, because you could, go pretty aggressive with Tiny.
I mean, even then, that's like, that's because of the pairing. I mean, Omni Knight is a little different because it doesn't matter what you have. If there's someone who can get up right on top of them, then you're pretty good because of purification. So.
Right. So something like Omni PA, for example.
I mean, even Omni Void is pretty good.
Okay.
Just jump on top of them, and I mean, Omni Ogre works as well.
So you disagree with my statement of like Omni needs a very hyper damage core to go alongside with it?
Yeah, I mean, he just does his own thing. You don't need a pairing for him.
Okay. Well, in this game, we don't necessarily have a pairing whatsoever, right? It's mostly Omni protecting the Naga to make sure that she's safe and okay.
Yeah, well, that, and also because it's pretty strong, considering they're most likely going to be running. Actually, I wouldn't be too sure right now, because there is always that chance where they run core Omni Knight, and this is a support Phoenix, so we're just going to have to see how they run it.
Yeah, that's definitely the case as well, and if it's going to be core Omni Knight, it's most likely Febby playing it. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got Power Gaming's draft. Sorry that I've been mostly kind of pivoting the discussion over Omni Knight and not overall with the draft. But Omni is one of those heroes that we don't see too often, and another hero that we don't see too often is Necrophos. How do you feel that he kind of fits into this draft right now, or this game overall?
I I like the idea behind Necrophos because it's kind of like one of the ways they are. It's like an extra layer just to make sure that they can kill off Void or the Naga. And it is gonna be a core Omni Knight, so
Okay.
interesting to see that.
So, do you think that one of the reasons we don't see Necrophos as much is because of heroes like Oracle, Shadow Demon, and even like Glimmercape? That's quite popular in the current metagame.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of the case, but it's also one of those really situational heroes because he just gets destroyed by a lot of different heroes.
Sure.
At least that's how I.
There's a strong combination this game of Sunder into Reaper Scythe. Is that something we gotta watch out for?
I can tell you that that's most likely not why you drafted together. Definitely not for that synergy. I mean, sure, you can make it work. Okay,
Are you
but
telling me that people don't go Shadow Blade Armlet Dagon on Terrorblade for the one-hit combo?
you know what the worst thing about it is that some people have actually tried it and they get away with it. Like,
I mean, in a pub game it works.
yeah, I wish on a pub game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see him coming, you're good as useless.
I mean, that's what the Shadow Blade's for, right?
Just drop a sentry ward then.
Okay, alright, let me change my
Walking
build. What
over it.
about Blink Armlet Dagon? You can't see that coming.
You can yeah, okay. You can, maybe you can't see that coming, but I don't know. Buy Lincolns.
Alright. Alright, we are getting that customary pause in the beginning. I do apologize if we're still running into the technical difficulties. I just got back from Kiev, so my system is a little bit messed up. As you can see, I was changing my hotkeys and whatever. But hopefully, as the day progresses on, we will be good. MVP as well as Power is going to be our first best of 3. Any favor of the draft? Like, which draft would you rather play?
Right now, I feel like Power has the lineup that could potentially end the game fairly early, and if they can't, then MVP always has that Naga lineup that people fall back on.
Okay.
So it just depends. I feel like this just kind of depends on how well MVP can hold off on against Power.
Yeah, I think it's really kind of hard to call because I can make the argument that both teams have their own strengths. For example, MVP team fights extremely well. You got the Egg plus the Chronosphere. You got the Guardian Angel that, makes tier play somewhat useless in the middle of the fights. Whereas to me, Power Gaming has the better roaming, has the better ganking. And, you talk about the late game Naga, but there's also the late game aspect of an Ags on Necrophos, right? Like, you get a Reaper off, you just win. There's no buyback available on the other side, and things could get a little bit rough. So.
Yeah, like I said, Necrophos is just one of those heroes that if you really, really want to secure a kill, it's like pretty good against heroes like Void as well. Like you just want to absolutely make sure they die.
All right, the laning stage is going to be on its way, and MVP, to the surprise of nobody, is running an offensive tri lane because they've been doing that literally every single game leading up to this point. We got Ryzen playing on the Phoenix, Dubu on the Ogre Magi, and looks like Velo, who's going to be part of this offensive tri lane, is going to be handling the Omni Knight. We got Febby playing that safe lane Void, and then QO going mid on Naga Siren. Meanwhile, on the side of Power Gaming, DDZ going to be playing Batrider up top. And then we got Jacko playing the mid Necrophos. Venge being handled by Shannis. And then we got Mosin playing Kunkka. And last but not least, we got Lance playing the Terrorblade. Alright, DDZ already napawning up. QO does not have that magic stick, so is trying to get that rune.
No, he's good on the timing.
Yeah.
DDZ can't fight this time.
Alright, looks like the lanes are now switching up again. Alright, it's gonna be
They aggro. They aggro with the Faceless Void.
I'm telling you, Vebby's always on this aggro try. I don't exactly know what Vebby offers to an aggro try. Because to me, this is one of the more level dependent heroes, at least early on. You want like level 3 jump, right? But
I mean, it kind of depends. Man, what is happening?
yeah,
oh my God,
aggro try mid, guys. New meta.
Aggro mid.
Nope, we're gonna 2-1-2, which makes a little bit more sense, and that allows Faceless Void to pick up the level, as I mentioned. Vengeful Spirit, no points into any of her ability just yet. Generally, when you're 1v1 against a Void, you want to level up your either your passive or your minus armor, because stun just gets jumped quite easily and you're not gonna have a good time. But now with the ogre in picture, I guess it doesn't really matter what you skill because you're not gonna win this lane, right? If you're the Venge.
It depends. I think they could actually win this lane, but terribly needs some levels first.
Okay.
But the Kunk is coming over though. This could change the lane up.
Yeah.
I don't think MVP knows about this.
Yeah, they get meta right now, and they're gonna pop it. Dubu gonna get body block, magic missile. Torrent's gonna hit, and that will be enough stuns to get the kill. Lance drops first blood, so nicely done. All right, so the last time.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think they should fix up. They should fix up their laning now. I feel like it's a little
Who's they?
worrisome that they're gonna leave their void like this.
Well, can you make the argument that once the metamorphosis is down?
Oh, then they're like, okay,
Yeah.
they don't care.
So I mean, they're gonna have to rough it out a little bit, but after that they should be fine. I mean, Lance is denying the heck out of him right now. But...
And Metamorphosis gives you so much damage.
So top lane, the last time I seen a carry safe lane Omni Knight, it was Winter in TI3, and I do believe his team finished 16th out of 16. Shout out to Winter. Tell me what you get out of a safe lane Omni overall, and why should people do it or not do it?
I'm kind of curious as to how they're gonna run it. Maybe are they really banking on this huge purification combo? I mean, it's not even that huge. I feel like there could be better setups for it, but I mean, this is definitely something they practice.
Okay.
And I would assume that this is a team they would practice against a lot.
I mean, is Omni Knight one of those heroes that you could kind of just get past the laning stage without being aggressive? Because traditionally, he needs both levels and items. And if you safe lane farm him, he will get that.
I mean, I can see one of the ways they run this is they just let him say 1v1 against the bat. He's one of the melee heroes that could actually go up against the bat because he could repel off all the stacks.
Right.
And then once he gets his levels, then they just lane swap, and he goes bottom. He's strong enough to pressure the off lane, and then Febby can just go safe farm.
Okay. Well, we haven't seen that 1v1 just yet. Phoenix has been pulling and getting some levels on his own right, and obviously he could port to the bottom and help out with the Sunray as well. Mid lane is the other lane that we haven't talked about too much. Is Jacko on the Necrofalls. So far leading versus Naga, forcing Naga back to base. And Necrofalls getting away with the laning stage like this is also quite good for power gaming. I know we're only 4 minutes in the game, but it feels like power gaming has gotten better out of all of the laning stage.
Yeah, I think this matchup is pretty bad for Naga.
Yeah.
You use your illusions, and then he just death pulse, and then you lose all of your illusions, just like that.
Huh. It's interesting to see how he doesn't have any points into status, because I figured that in the mid lane is one of the few lanes where the aura doesn't actually do that much. DZ is going to be forced to TP out because of the bottle spam on the other side, but instead no points in status. He's maxing the Heartstopper aura as his second ability, and I guess he's paying off, right? QO has been forced back to base at least once.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to remember that you can bottle crow or pick up runes. So maybe he's just not feeling that need to keep up in region and just plays a little more offensively.
I mean, that's my point though. Like the other team could also bottle crow and pick up runes, and that's why I feel like the Heartstopper aura isn't at its best because of the constant stream of region.
I don't think that the level of pressure is the same. If you compare Riptide to the degen and the Death Pulse, it's not really realistic to ask QO to bottle crow and stay in this lane, fortunately.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, like I said, Jacko's been forcing QO back, and so far the build has definitely been working. He's leading in terms of farm as well.
I think QO is just desperately trying to find his levels so that he can start jungling instead.
Yeah. So my eyes is going to be on Velo, what item he gets. He does have the goal for his Arcane Boots right now. Maybe we'll see a bottom lane that looks like Torrent has been flowing out. Dubu in a lot of trouble. Febby's up next. He's X'd up. He's going to jump away to get some HP back. And it seems like every time there is a Metamorphosis available on the Radiant side, they get a kill.
I mean, at least MVP is preventing him from doing damage to the tower for now.
By throwing heroes in his way. It's not exactly the best way to prevent it.
I mean, losing one hero at this stage is not the worst thing.
Okay. Well, they might lose a little bit more here. Vengeful Spirit's gonna swing around, but unfortunately Kyo is already in the jungle. They're definitely pressuring mid quite a bit. The power supports are coming in. They're gonna see Ryzen.
For the rune.
Ooh, no X available. Looks like he was able to jump away. In fact, it might be turned around here as Kunkka taking quite a bit of damage. Dobu's gonna chase it up, and I think they might get the kill. Torrent's gonna fly out. That's gonna hit. No, he won't. Ogre just walks over the water with his excellent movement speed plus Bloodlust. They're gonna go for a little bit more. Febby does have jump available. Time dilate, no longer the spell it once was. They're able to chase with it. And you can see Jackal is
looking for...
yeah. But I don't think he's gonna be able to do too much either. Maybe though, actually. No.
He's just forcing him out.
Yeah.
Can't do much other than that. So surprisingly, Jacko's actually behind in terms of EXP. So I guess the jungling is paying off for QO.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can make the argument that if he was just, instead of looking for him in jungle, if he just like farmed the lane, it would have been somewhat better for him. But I like that, even though... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even though it didn't work out, the gank, I like the fact that he's like in the jungle pressuring QO. And I think that little bit of aspect isn't showing on the, the experience chart or whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. He sent them back.
Yeah.
Some time wasted.
That's the second time that QO has to go base now, so...
Yeah, look at how annoying this matchup is for Kyo as well. He just uses his illusions once, and they're all dead to one death pulse.
I would make the argument that even though he's being annoyed quite a bit, and even though he's being sent back, I don't think it's enough. I think you kind of have to force a kill on it. And Jackal's being pinged nonstop. Okay, Reaper Scythe's going to throw out. They're going to try to burst him down. They are going to get the kill. Unfortunately, they didn't get the kill with the Reaper's debuff on him. But still, a kill is a kill.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, you have to kill him. Just pressuring him like this, I don't think is enough either.
Right. MVP
knowing
supports.
Kyo, he's going to be really farmed.
Rotating around here. Lance gonna break the smoke. There's not enough burst damage to prevent the Sunder from coming out unless they drop the Kono. They're gonna drop everything on him. Dubu, well, didn't have a way to cancel that TP, and that'll be it.
They were relying on a level 1 bash to cancel the TP, unfortunately.
I mean, 10% of the time. I was forcing myself to not make that meme Velo. Gonna have to get himself out of there. He does not have repel available, and he is gonna go down. Okay.
Well, Power making the rotations work. I mean, they have some really good supports to do this kind of thing, and MVP don't exactly have the most protective of supports.
Well, in theory they do, right? They got the Phoenix, they got the Omni Knights, and you can make the argument that, even Faceless Void coming with a Chrono would be good. I just think that they have done it in a good time where these spells are not available or not maxed. They're going to go for Lance again, but Lance, actually, he doesn't have Sunder available. He hasn't skilled it. He tried to last hit that creep under his tower to get it? No. He got it, but then he died. Alright, good try. I'm able to get it.
Alright. I like this rotation. Now there's no way they can fight for this tower.
I guess, I wonder if they know that he doesn't have Sunder, because Sunder is actually an ability that you don't skill that often in level 6 anymore.
Yeah, I think they do know. I mean, almost every Terrorblade player does this. Like, no one gets Sunder until I think like 9 or something like that.
Right. Although if you
Maybe
make the
9,
argument that
maybe
if you
10.
got Sunder there and there's a Necrophall's TP, they kind of just all die, or at least they lose 1 or 2 on the way out. Mid tower, we do have Febby porting in.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're trying to get a tower. Remember that combo I said, Sunder into Necro? Oh, could have had it there, dude, if he has Sunder.
Yeah. I think we're gonna see it at least once this game.
Sure. I mean, it's... Yeah, like you said, it's pretty
there.
inevitable, right? They go on the Terrorblade, he uses it to protect
Sunder
himself.
someone and you get Necro.
Yeah. To be fair, though, there's quite a
like
bit of burst damage on MVP, right? Like, Purification as a way to just pop him at the end is pretty good.
Alright, they're smoked. They want to get something done with this Chrono.
Well, I think it's going to get tanked by the Venge.
Get both.
All right,
Jump past him, go for the Terrorblade.
Uh,
Yeah, here
they're
we
not
go.
running away. Lance on the run. Looks like on the other side of the map here, Bat Rider was able to get 1 kill. Nice rotation around here. They're going to get 1. Look for the other. Vengeful Spirit still alive. Still alive. Sunder's going to come through. The Purification should have been held and
Sunder
waited. They're going to...
doesn't-
Oh, Febby dropping low, but not going to be able to actually get the right click off. Lance is getting body block and no more Sunder as he was used. Well, able to survive there. Meanwhile...
That was interesting.
About which one? Which part?
The Sunder, he sundered the Void, and the Void tried to time walk it off, and it actually doesn't do anything. He didn't gain any life, so I guess Sunder doesn't. It's just an HP removal kind of thing.
Well, it says it's backtrack any damage taken, right? And it's Sunder.
And that wasn't damage taken.
It's HP loss,
just...
or actually it's just HP swap, right? Okay.
God.
Well, you learn something new every day. I did not know that how works. I guess this kind of works as like, you know how you get healed by your ally, and you jump, you still, you know, get more HP.
You lose it, right?
Or do you lose it, or do you get more HP? I thought you just get more HP.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, that makes sense too, because it's not part of the damage
Right.
taken part.
I don't know. It's I guess I could figure out in the lobby a little bit later on, but it is somewhat confusing. Let's switch over to net worth here. Eosin, walk me through the game right now. How we been doing for the last 12 minutes? The net worth says it's, you know, power gaming lead, and it does feel like it's a power gaming lead through and through.
Yeah. I think still with the rotations MMP have been making, like, this is just a hold out for Naga kind of game. So as long as they don't lose too much control of this game, I think the Naga should be able to fight later on, and Power Gamer are going to have issues dealing with it.
Okay. Speaking of the item choices that's coming out, I do want to ask you about your opinion on Necrophos. He is getting what looks to be a Rod of Atos against a lineup that has Phoenix Dive, a Repel, Mirror Image, as well as Time Walk. It feels like this is not the game where you go Atos.
I think if you look at it like that, then yes, probably. But it is, at the end of the day, it's a really good stat stick. And, you know, even though you have all these abilities, Rod of Atos is a pretty low cooldown. So you're definitely going to see use out of it. Just to slow people down.
Well, we'll see exactly how effective it is. Tier 1 tower is going to get sieged somewhat by MVP, but the rotation here from Power Gaming should repel them back. I say that though, MVP is not going away, at least not yet. They're going to focus on DZZs, the Sunray, as well as Chronosphere, committing to get that kill. They will get it. The burst damage is there, and they're going to use the Guardian Angel. Febi's going to frontline it a little bit more. QO, Dive coming in. The Egg's going to be on the back line. They really want this tier 1. Jacko in the middle of everything. He's going to get stunned up again here by the Phoenix Egg. The Sunray is going to come out as well. Defensive swap's going to fly out. He should be fine. In fact, he has a regen. He's going to wait out the Ignite and pop it. It looks like it's going to be retreat time from MVP. They see Jacko. They want Jacko. Okay, I think he will be fine, though. He still has some regen. In fact, he's getting dotted up. He will be fine. And now on the front line, Lance is right-clicking just about everybody. Febby still with the repel. Jumping forward, they want Lance. In fact, they will get Lance. The Reaper Sight is going to fly out, but the Purification says no. It looks like Phoenix Rain number 3 has cooldown. They are going to get a kill, and it looks like Power Gaming going to get completely team-wiped. It did not look good for MVP throughout the second half of that team fight, but man, they had enough gas to go through. And then now they get the tier 1 tower. Man.
There you go. That's why they got Omni. Oh, and they waited out. Oh, Febby.
Alright. Omni did not survive throughout that team fight, so no more purification. In fact, they're going to turn around for DZZ again. Yeah, DZZ's going to die one more time. Man, overestimating their survivability. MVP was able to pick up a ton of kills on the way out, and now suddenly 3,500 gold on QO. Alright, this game just escalated quite quickly there. Yeah.
The banking on your Naga strat is working out for them now, because your Naga just caught up off of that team fight.
Well, so exactly why did MVP.Phoenix win that team fight? Was it, you know, the egg that popped off? Was it the Omni Knight?
I think overall they just took that fight so much better. They pushed them back, and Jackal was caught out of position, and the egg was just placed so perfectly that Jackal was pretty much stuck underneath it, and there's nothing they can do about the egg. And if they go back in, then they all get caught by the egg. But if they leave him, like, you know, you saw Jackal just go down by himself.
Right.
And he almost lived, but Song just came off cooldown, and by resetting the fight, they were able to just win that.
Yeah, using Song as well as Chronosphere to make sure that your egg pop off is, you know, one big part of the team fight. Unfortunately, Vengeful Spirit feeding yet another kill here to MVP. Jumping forward.
Already.
Okay, it gets 2. And they're going to focus on Jacko. Purification is going to fly out. And Jacko, I mean, this is the weakness of Necrophos. The bolt's going to fly out. In fact, he might survive. Velo is going to get off. He does die, but it looks like he was unable to get another Rebirth debuff. Lance punching everybody, and he's going to get a kill. And it looks like we're going to go the other direction. Risen is going to get popped off as well. 3 kills. Ooh, looks like barely TPing out was the Faceless Void. So 3-for-1 exchange, and not having the other big ultimates, not having Egg or Song in that team fight was their undoing, I suppose.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's a little bit lacking on the damage. Not having, it's only, you know, Ignite, and all you have is the Purification coming out of the Chrono. They couldn't kill Jacko off in time, giving them enough time to reinforce and win that team fight.
And I guess that's where you look at Rod of Atos providing the extra bit of HP, help him tank. You know, even in the previous team fight, even though he couldn't use the active of the Atos, I'm surprised he lived that long, teleporting into like 4 heroes.
Yeah. I mean, you look at him, you spam Death Pulse, and your Rod of Atos is actually a really good stat stick. You just look at it. Gives you 30 in and 350 health. I think it's very overlooked.
Okay. Do you feel like this is where he goes mech as well and just try to tank up, or are we looking at, you know, let's say another sort of tank item, or are we looking to get more damage?
I think you go tanky, but you don't buy mech. I think you let your supports do that for this game.
Okay. Well,
I'd like to see something like Blink or something like that.
You know, I was thinking of Blink as well, but I feel like this is not the lineup where you go Blink against. Because you could... I mean, the whole idea between Blink is you go for the one quick pick off, right? But it seems like the MVP team is so good at saving. Hold that thought, the Velo looks like he's going to get grabbed, and we're going to see that Reaper side fly out. Velo will die this time, nobody helping him out. And it's going to be retreat on the side of MVP.
The Rod of Atos.
There's absolutely nothing there, but okay. The guy was literally Magic Missile and Flaming Lassoed up, so... But they are going to move forward. Omni Knight dead for quite a while because of that Reaper Scythe. Actually, I think he's...
I'm kind of surprised to see. He's only level 1 Reaper.
I think he misclicked. Whatever the case is, yeah, I mean, you would always level up the ability, right?
That's what I would think, too.
Yeah, I think it was a misclick. Because, I mean, it scales so amazingly well. So...
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is a misclick. I mean, these things do happen.
Yeah. Earlier I was gonna ask you, should Lance actually go for a Diffusal Blade? So far it doesn't seem like he has fit it into his build, but I imagine if there's a time to do it, you maybe get it after the Mantis out.
I think it's a possibility. I always think Diffusal Terrorblade isn't the worst thing. And you do get the bonus when you're not in Metamorphosis, so...
Well,
I think it's actually a very likely thing that will happen.
I mean, one of the reasons that we don't see Diffusal Terrorblade is that I feel like the Terrorblade hero is picked for mostly tower sieging. And Diffusal lends itself more to like fighting and whatnot, right? So,
yeah, I can agree with that.
I mean, to be fair, against MVP, you can make the argument that fighting is probably the way to go because they like to brawl so much.
They're smoked. And Kyo's behind them.
Oh, they're gonna get himself risen, swap, and X. Yeah, he is dead. Reaper Scythe. Man, I just love this combo so much. So much single target ability, and you guarantee a Reaper every time. And it looks like he was, no, he's still only level 11. Or it's only got the level 1 ult. In fact, they're gonna get one more. Velo. They have a Chrono. In fact, it's gonna be a 3-man Chrono. The bolt is gonna fly through, but Velo is, repelled up, so no problem. And now it's going to be Vengeful Spirit in a lot of trouble. They're going to focus him down. The Radiant's doing quite a bit of damage. Lance in the middle of everything, though, kills the secondary hero of MVP. Fabi's going to go down as well. They are not respecting the damage output of this Terrorblade song as a defensive retreat. Everybody run. Do they really want to fight this?
Kill DDZ with your illusions.
He blinks out. He's fine. And now they got the Rod of Atos doing some work. No more Reaper, but they don't need Reaper. Kyo trying to survive. He's repelled up. He is fine. And now they're okay. Now they're running away. So, 1 for 3 is the exchange. Terrorblade getting yet a couple more kills under his belt. Mantisal is up next. I gotta say, you know, despite winning that one fight up top for MVP, it feels like it's still really much Power Gaming's this game. Because they're so good at just finding that one pick off. And continuing the team fight from there.
And they're probably going to keep doing it too, because I think they kind of won that engagement very slightly, but the more important thing is they managed to draw out all of the big cooldowns from MVP, and MVP is not going to be ready to fight if they make these kind of moves again. So very, very action-packed game. I think they're going to just keep going at it nonstop. They don't want to give space to this Naga.
Yeah. I mean, even though his score is 2-2-6, which isn't bad for Naga actually, and he's been participating in these team fights, do you feel like Power Gaming is sufficiently doing enough to pressure this Naga?
For the time being, yeah. He's not getting that free farm you normally see on a Naga when they're just, farming.
Right. I guess if this game was Naga not even needing to join fights and MVP is still holding their own, that's where you start to worry about Power Gaming. But Kyo has to use the song pretty much every time it comes off cooldown. Kyo has been trying his best to farm the opposing jungle, but he's corralled out of there. And looks like we're gonna have Lance starting to pressure these tier 2s.
Oh, cutting waves.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Annoying Naga plays coming out.
Well, Lance got that one siege unit, man. That's all you need.
Yep. Oh, they want to fight this now. They have everything up.
Okay. Well, Lance is in a very juicy target up front, but they got the swap. In fact, it's going to be Batrider finding initiation. Risen's going to get blown up. Is he going to get... Yeah, Egg not going to fly out. They got the ult coming out as well. Double kill going to Jacko immediately. Chronosphere mostly being used defensively. Velo has Song and Guardian Angel pretty much to get himself out of there. DZZ's in the base. And so is Jacko. Are they going to go for QO? Yeah, they're going forward. Rod of Atos. Is it cooling down? They're using it on QO. QO doesn't have Song. Doesn't have anything to protect himself. QO, well, Purification up. Almost saved him. But it's not going to be enough. And Metamorphosis is still going. 4 dead. Power Gaming's on the high ground. And they're forcing out buyback. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of XTP back for Jacko. And when he's coming back, he's going to heal everybody back up. I gotta say, it looks like it's gonna be a Rax coming out here.
No, I don't. You committed your chrono and no one died. I don't think you can hold this Rax.
They're gonna try. Wow, that Purification did quite a bit of damage. But again, Jacko just keeping everybody alive. Despite of that though, it seems like MVP has saved their Rax at the cost of a buyback on Phoenix and obviously everyone dying. Also, they did previously a good job of pushing the bottom lane to make sure that Power Gaming has to go back and defend. But the way I look at it, Power Gaming is going to reset, farm up, and just go again.
I lied about them taking the Rax. Dude, that Purification, holy crap. TV took so much damage. I mean, his health pool is like tiny though. He only has 1100 life. That's probably why it looks so insane. I thought they would take the Rax for sure because they were just X-marking people back, and the Necro, you just keep spamming your Death Pulse and everyone heals up.
Yeah, I didn't see the cooldown on the meta. Maybe that was running out. So maybe that was that. But, if Necro got mech, for sure they take the Rax. So I'm going to go back to my point where I think mech was perhaps a better choice. But for staff, always good item.
Have the Mystic Staff.
Yep. So most likely a Shiva's Guard. Although I feel like they're ahead where if he wants to forgo a defensive item to go for Hex, that would not be a bad choice either.
What if it's Octarine?
Then you get the Soul Booster first, right?
I mean, this guy. Oh, hold that thought.
Batrider going in right now, trying to find the one. He will find it, but unfortunately his teammate is not available. Jacko forced that forward, looking for the. Oh, bolt is gonna fly out, and the egg is on the back line. It's gonna pretty much stun everybody. Yes, in fact it will. Mosen's dropping low. Looks like Lance dropped off his Sunder, and now he doesn't have his Metamorphosis. It comes off cooldown. Is he using it right here? So far, it doesn't look like they need it. They swapped to cancel the TP. Velo is gonna get blown up. They're right outside of the Roshan pit. And they're gonna get the Aegis as well, man. It looked really bad for Power Gaming once the Chrono as well as the Egg went out, but they had so much regen at the end of the fight with the Necrofall still surviving.
I mean, one thing you have to remember too. There's Kunkka ulti. I think that's why it was so hard for them to die because everyone was just taking half the damage.
Yeah.
And then once the Chrono and the Egg runs out, Necrophos just starts spamming that heal, and everyone's kind of back up to full.
I guess the one weakness you would say about MVP's lineup is, apart from Purification, they just don't have that much burst damage, right? And that's why you can see that Batrider in all of these fights kind of just mans up, run in, and he knows that he's not going to get blown up by the time the blow flies out. And he also has Yule Scepter to back himself up, so... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like MVP...
I mean, they do have the Sunray too, but I think they're a little bit too behind, and Power Gaming just has a little too much for them to handle with their Phoenix Omni combo.
Febby's gonna get grappled once again, and the right click damage apparently not enough here, as they didn't want to use Metamorphosis, or didn't have it off cooldown for that one. Would you make the argument that MVP right now can't win a fight unless they're the one that's initiating.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the team fights that have happened, it's always Bat Rider catching someone out, and I don't think MVP can allow that to happen. They have to be very careful for that.
I mean, they just don't have any counterplay to that, right? Unless Febby is right there to Chrono.
Yeah, because there's nothing to break it with either, unless QO is just there ready to reset the fight with sleep. But I'm not too sure if you want to do that unless they're all stacked up on each other and then you Chrono on top of them.
Well, MVP gonna be the one looking to start this fight, at least on their own terms. Mech is already finished on the side of Power, as Kunkka has picked it up. I like this kind of rotation here. It's definitely an unexpected movement. They see Jacko. That's the target, I think. You Chrono both of them. Dubu's gonna break the smoke. Febby's gonna get him repelled up, but it looks like the element of surprise is already gone. Torn Bolt's gonna be hitting on 2. In fact, QO might actually just get blown up. The Chronosphere being used defensively, but they don't save the Naga. The Egg's gonna fly out, but there goes all of their damage. In fact, they're gonna reinitiate on Velo. Velo's gonna get bursted down. Risen, no more Egg, no more way out, and that's gonna be a beyond godlike ultra kill on Lance.
That was such a strange engagement for MVP. They walked down and broke the smoke, and it was already such an awkward position to be in. Dubu isn't the guy you want to be initiating fights.
Yeah, it had to be a Chrono on 2 or 3. And I thought it looked like to be a very good engagement when the Vengeful Spirit and I believe Jacko was clumped up. But obviously they don't have the vision that we do. So maybe they didn't see it. And yeah, they got initiated on. And like we said once again, that MVP needed to find that good initiation or they don't have a chance.
The worst part was Kyo walked down the hill and he walked into a torrent boat combo and just died instantly.
Yep. And you know, a lot of it is the fact that the Radiant heroes are super tanky. You talked about the boat. I mentioned the mech. Vengeful Spirit also has pipe up. So, you know, good luck killing anything.
Yeah. And a lot of the MVP's damage is magic damage right now. They don't really have any right clickers.
I would make the argument
doesn't have enough.
They have no damage. I mean, yes, they have magic damage, but it's
very little, yeah. I would agree with you there.
It's been outscaled. And Lance also has that Diffusal Blade up, so Repel is actually not that good of a defensive measure anymore. So history repeats itself. Safe lane Omni is not the way to go. At least not in our large sample size of 2 games. And looks like
there's definitely something lacking. I felt like it could have been done, but they just took a couple of sloppy fights, and Power's lineup is just incredibly strong when they manage to land everything.
Okay, we got Bloodlust being casted on towers, trying to defend it, but I'm gonna say that Lance will take down the tower much quicker. Omni Knight, or sorry, Bat Rider initiating. They find Risen, and well, saw him a little bit late. They watch if Phoenix gets blown up, and Febby, he's gonna get hit by the boat. Repel's gonna be there, but Dubu gets hit by it instead, and he goes down. And now it's gonna be nice swap back in. Febby, no more jump. They blow him up, and it's gonna be MVP.Phoenix dropping the first game. Rana Vatos doing work Kappa. As Jacko going on Velo. GG's already called, and Power Gaming.
Hey, Rana Vatos did a lot this game.
Mostly for the tank. Mostly for the tank.
He slowed people to death like multiple times.
Alright.
After winning the team fight, he just like picks off stragglers.
So you're saying after you win the team fight, Rana Vatos is a good item?
No. Trust me, Rana Vatos is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Alright, game 1 going on the side of Power Gaming. So any final thoughts about the game?
I think MVP should probably change up the draft a little bit. I feel like there was a lot left to be desired with that draft against what Power Gaming had.
Okay, can I bring up the point I made earlier in the draft? Like, for me, this game, Omni, despite the fact that he was able to, did okay in 1 or 2 team fights, really left a lot to be desired, at least in the damage department, right? Didn't have a hybrid parry damage to pair with, especially in a core farming position. Like, he just offers so little if your other cores aren't like issuing a buttload of damage.
Well, I think the issue with it was just that it's not the normal support that you see. It was a core Omni,
right?
And because it was a core Omni, you lose that slot for someone who could potentially do more damage.
Sure.
An Omni who just is utility, because that's pretty much all he was. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't like an armlet Omni. If it was an armlet Omni, I'd probably be a little more convinced, honestly. Okay, fair enough. Game 2 is going to be coming our way in a short break. We'll be back, guys. See you in a bit.